35192. Want to send a text? You can drop us messages on the iHeartRadio app, by the way. If you listen to the show from out of state, tell me where. I'd like to know where people have posted up. Randy listens out at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona. Sandra is in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Matt listens in Milwaukee.
The good land.
The good land. Jeff is one of our many bureau chiefs in Orlando. A lot of people drawing comparisons with what happened in Colorado Springs over the weekend with what happened in Orlando, the Pulse nightclub shooting about 5-6 years ago. We were in Denver when that happened, and we got up the next morning staying with some friends, and it was wall-to-wall coverage of that Pulse nightclub. It was a gay club in Orlando. 49 people got killed at that one. It was a big, big, big deal. And if you saw Colorado Springs trending over the weekend, it's because there was another shooting at a gay club there. And I think 5 people were killed there.
5 killed and I believe 18 injured.
A place called Club Q. Somebody walks in. I guess they determined that the kid who shot the place up is the grandson of a politician in California, a guy who used to be the mayor of a town called Santee, California, which is suburban San Diego. It's this dude's grandson who walked in with a rifle and started shooting the place up. And they had the kid on video from a year or so. I got a lot of articles being written on how the red flag laws that have been written in a lot of states with respect to people who can and cannot acquire firearms, these red flag laws, you got something in your CV that should keep you from getting that. Obviously, laws are useless unless they're enforced, but they got this kid on Ring camera video about a year or so ago because he had made a false bomb threat or something like that. He threatened to bomb his mother's house in June of last year. And there's Ring doorbell footage of him surrendering to law enforcement after they evacuated his mother's entire neighborhood because there was an active bomb threat. And so a lot of people are wondering how he was able to get the rifle that he used during this nightclub attack. And one of the co-owners of the club was killed. A guy named Derek Rump. And some other people where they talked to one of the bartenders who was there, who was found his way out from behind the bar and trying to hide out on a patio.
All I saw, I popped my head up over the booth, and I saw like the barrel of a gun like poked into the patio room. I saw just the tip of it, and it was at that point that I legitimately thought I was about to get shot. Like, I didn't know. I felt like a fish trapped in a barrel. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have anything. So I was just so scared I wouldn't be able to talk to my mom or talk to anybody, in that situation.
They're saying that it could have been a lot worse. There were 2 dudes who wrestled the guy's rifle away from him and then beat him with it. But they said that it could have been a lot.
What's that guy's name? That guy's a badass.
Yeah, a lot worse. Could have been. One club goer grabbed, I guess he had a rifle and a handgun maybe, grabbed the handgun from him, repeatedly hit him with it, and subdued him. And they were still pinning him to the ground when the cops showed up. And the mayor of Colorado Springs said this could have been a lot worse if those guys hadn't risked their own lives in doing that. So, you know what they say? The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is to get a good guy to get that bad guy's gun and then beat him with it. And then pin him on the ground until the cops show up.
It's on a T-shirt at a Love's truck stop. That exact same.
Half of it's on the front, half of it's on the back. So you're like...
It's a long one.
It's a real cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You go, oh, what's the back say?
Oh, until the cops show up. Got it.
Yeah, gotcha. He had a handgun and an AR-15. 15. Entered the club and immediately started shooting at people. You probably saw, if you're on Twitter or social media, no shortage of people blaming Lauren Boebert. She's been very, very publicly anti-LGBT and all this kind of stuff. But that's not her district. So, and do you really think that people are taking their cues from whoever their congressional representative is? I mean, obviously, that's the kind of rhetoric that once it's in the sauce can affect people who are touched in the head otherwise. But, you know, tell me the last time you were influenced by something that your congressional representative said.
And not that I'm defending people who are homophobic or that aren't for gay marriage, but even it's a stretch to say that they're calling for us to be murdered. Like, I don't know what rhetoric is saying go to a club and shoot up all the gays.
Well, the point being is that a lot of that anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, a lot of that anti-trans rhetoric, which Lauren Boebert it's been a nonstop stream from her and her ilk, is that if you make those people seem like they're inferior to other people, then you can rationalize taking them out.
Right.
You can rationalize doing physical bodily harm to them. One of the oldest hate groups in the country is a place called Focus on the Family. You might have heard of them. They're always at the forefront of some kind of evangelical nonsense, right-wing hooey. They're headquartered in Colorado Springs. They're right there. They got a big old building and a compound, and, you know, they're one of the oldest groups like that in the entire country. They've been doing that anti-gay stuff for decades. And they're right there in Colorado Springs. A guy named James Dobson.
We got Dobson here.
Dobson. See, nobody cares. They were founded in 1977. I remember my mom and dad reading James Dobson books. Focus on the Family was nothing if not diversified, but they were very... I don't know, they'd paint themselves one way. You know, you rationalize a lot of things once you say you got Jesus on your side, obviously. So they've been involved in a lot of different things over the past 50 or 60 years.
That was one thing Jesus liked doing, was pick sides.
Indeed.
It's always like,
I'm going to need loaves over here and fishes over here, okay? I don't know if I've got enough for everybody, and I want to hedge my bets.
my love is conditional on whether you're on my side or not. Signed, Jesus.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a group that's, you know, big into conversion therapy and, they believe in the gay agenda and all this nonsense. So, but again, Colorado Springs, if you've ever been out there, we've been out there on occasion.
Never been
It's
to
a
Colorado
very,
Springs.
very conservative area.
And
That is red Colorado.
And there's
yes.
an Air Force base there. One of my second week ever working on the road was in Colorado Springs in 2005. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren Boebert, that's not her district, but the guy whose district it is another Republican who got a big win in the midterms, and he supports discriminating against gay people and called Democrats groomers and all that nonsense. He's one of these guys that wanted to end funding for PBS because they had a gay cartoon. And so Colorado is still a purple state.
Name a cartoon that's not gay.
What?
I said Ed, and Eddie.
Jesus,
they weren't being
that's
gay
a
there,
deep
baby.
dive.
Yeah,
Wow, Ed, and Eddie. I was gonna say Caillou, but of course that kid
Courage
sucks.
the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Is that Grandpa gay in that?
I don't know.
The grandma's gay.
What about Oddballs? That's a good one. Anybody watching Oddballs on Netflix?
No.
Very weird, very fun. So yeah, that whole thing's going down out there. And Alan, how come you're not talking about the Green Power Ranger?
We haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, I'm too old for that show. I didn't watch the Power Rangers, but I will say the guy who killed himself here, just a couple years younger than me, his was the only name I ever knew. A guy named Jason David Frank was the original Green Power Ranger, and he killed himself. He's 49.
His name was Tommy on the show.
Tommy was the Green Power Ranger.
Then he became the White Power Ranger because he started off as an evil Power Ranger, which was a very dramatic part of that show.
Talk about taking sides.
Yeah.
He switched.
My brother was a big fan of that show, and I'm 7 years older than him, so he would play with all those toys, so I had a pretty good knowledge of a lot of that stuff because he would just have it on all the time.
Well, I guess this guy, I think maybe part of the reason I knew this guy's name is that he was a regular on like the Comic-Con circuit.
Yeah.
So this guy was always showing up. I mean, I think when you and I did the show from
I think he was
Cleveland
there, yeah.
Comic-Con, he was there. But I guess he'd had enough.
Did they say how he committed suicide? Was it a
No,
gunshot?
he died in Texas. And sources say that it was a result of suicide. If they have announced that, I didn't see it. But that's obviously the OG Power Rangers. That's a big deal to a certain generation of people. And so that's a big deal. Because people are saying, like, I guess he was recently getting divorced. Like, he got a DUI. His wife left him, claiming that he cheated on her. So she had filed for divorce not long ago.
I like that
this past
reaction.
August.
I like that reaction that he cheats on her, well, allegedly, and then his response is like, "Oh, you're gonna divorce me over that?
I was the Green Power Ranger."
Hey, I just cheated a little bit."
Yeah. He cheated on his wife.
Respectfully.
Well, he's like a mixed martial artist, too. So, I don't know. The guy had a lot of irons in the fire, as it were.
That's a bummer. Suicide hotline, is it operational yet? Where it's like star 86 or what? What is the?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that it is.
What is the?
Because
You should probably know it.
well, the full number is still out there. Text 988.
988.
You can
There you go.
text or 988lifeline.org. Our own Corey Roddick is always very much publicly at the forefront of this kind of stuff. He's in recovery and he's, So, yeah, that guy. Again, that was the only name I knew, even though I didn't watch that show. And I think it's because the guy was always at the forefront of whatever those people were doing publicly. I don't know any of the other actors that were on the Power Rangers. Alan, I can't believe Poundcake turned down that guy's short-time job offer. You see the video of the people in line at the Dollar Tree complaining that the line's moving too slow? And the manager's like, "I will hire you right now. Why are you complaining?" At the Dollar Tree, no less. I mean, people like to complain.
Yeah, we need another register open. The deal to close the sale.
Are you planning to hire? I'll hire you on the spot.
Get behind the register.
Can you ring?
I've been waiting.
Can you ring? Look, I'm offering you a job. I need the help. I'm not people.
I'm sorry.
I'm hiring. I need help.
I need help, man.
Man.
Throw on an apron, smart ass.
Maybe
What do you
so.
got there? 99-cent pregnancy tests? Big long line at the Dollar Tree.
They'd be so impatient. At the
Guys
dollar
complaining.
store.
People are impatient everywhere.
But especially at the dollar store, because those people.
But
poor
everywhere
people
is
have no
short-staffed.
patience. But poor people have no patience. Like.
Oh yes, as opposed to the
Rich people, yeah,
Yeah.
all the Karens that are really long on patience.
Well, the rich
They
people.
don't all have a cross tattoo on their back, Poundcake.
But everyone else can order from home. Poor people like to go to the store.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know if there's a curbside pickup at the Dollar Tree.
There isn't. That's what I'm saying. Everyone has to go in and wait in line.
Because here's the thing. People who are
yeah.
shopping at the Dollar Tree don't want to be there anyway.
They have no
They're like,
choice.
man, right, I have to. This is what my life is now. So
It's-
they're already in a bad mood.
Yep, they get their baby formula there. They get all their like groceries for the week there. They get the honey nut.
Yeah, but they
Almost
also like know what's going on right now. They know that every place doesn't have enough people.
Yes, and they don't care because they're
Right,
poor
but
and
not
mean.
caring doesn't change the situation.
They think if you berate people, they'll go a little faster.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
not
just
how
wanna get rid of
anything
these
works.
people. Yeah.
It's not how anything works. So,
I tell you what, there's nothing more inconvenient than when you want to go to a fast food restaurant, like let's say a certain place that makes burritos in bowls, and you just go up to the door and it says, "Sorry, online orders only, short-staffed." I'm like, damn it! It ruins my whole day.
I made an appointment we all did, me and Gwen and Nora, we all had appointments to get our COVID booster this past Saturday. And I got an email Friday saying, hey, got to reschedule. We got to close tomorrow because we don't have enough people to work. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Just find another location to do it. But I was like, wow, imagine you got to close on a Saturday. You got to close the whole store.
I can imagine
because
that.
you don't have enough people to work. I mean, I can too, but that's no good.
But I would think like during a holiday season, if anything, this is where they pay double for everything. Like
what?
Yeah.
You think big companies are looking to spend more money on people?
I mean, they make the people that are there stay longer and work
They get
more hours.
New hires, they dangle it in front of them. Like, oh, you get paid every day. And then the fine print is you get paid every day after you've been here for 6 months.
That's how they be doing
You
it, huh?
choose when you get paid after you've been here for 9 months.
I do see some of that, like in some of the fast food restaurants, it's like you get paid from an app, or like you apply on an app, you get paid through an app or whatever, and you can literally get paid every day. I'm like, wow, that is. I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
trust
but then people spend their money.
That's exactly what I'm.
It's a cool option, I guess, for people who are.
I'm terrified of that. I don't know if I want to get. I don't want to get paid every day because it's gonna be gone. I'm like, all right, this is the $50 I make for the day. Let's spend it.
Yeah,
Let's see what it.
I mean, there's no
it.
perfect solution. I mean, I guess it's an option. People need money, so that's an option.
Some people also only need or want to make one day's pay. Like they're not interested in being there for a full-time job. They have whatever addictions or whatever they need to do, or I have to make this amount of money to pay back a debt.
Right now.
I stopped in on my way down here to Tennessee Thursday. I stopped in Louisville because my brother lives there, and we went out to have lunch. And my brother buys and flips houses and then sells them. And we were driving home from lunch. And my brother looks out the window and he goes, hold on a second. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, that right there is one of my workers. I was like, excuse me? And it was this lady just walking through a parking lot. I was like, what is she doing? He goes, well, she's supposed to be working right now. He's like, she's supposed to be at the job site. I was like, did she quit? And he goes, apparently she's walking in the opposite direction of the job site. So he had to like pull over. And he was like, hey, like he got out of the car and was like, hey, what's going on? Like, it's only 3 o'clock.
Did she start running?
Over yet.
And she's like, it's
No,
5
she was
o'clock
just like-
somewhere.
She was like, I'm done for the day. I want my $30. And he was like, okay, so this is probably someone who's an addict or something like that who worked enough hours to make
What my $30?
enough money to get whatever
To get
they
the
needed for
fix,
that day. Yeah. But it was crazy.
Yeah, but
We
is
were
he?
in the car, and
But he's hiring people for day work. He has day laborers or what?
but he wants to hire full-time people, but he can't find anybody to do manual labor. So he has to use who he can get. So, he puts an ad out there in the newspaper or on Craigslist or whatever.
Oh, he
And these are
hires them
people who
thinking
sh-
they're not going to bail after one day.
Well, he's
Well,
hoping, but
he just needs workers. He
Right,
can't do
yeah.
all of it himself. So he's like, hey, there's, this job, this flip is going to take 3 months. I'll pay you every single day for 3 months if you keep showing up, kind of a thing. But yeah, I guess this lady showed up that morning and then walked away like 3 hours later. It was like, can I just get a prorated rate? I'm done working for today. And he's
Right.
like, I guess, and handed her $30 and she kept walking.
And so
But if-
he just had $30 in his pocket.
Yeah, he just gave her money cash that he had in his wallet.
Alan, I
But
think I have a way we can do a nice grift on Mary's brother. $30 at a time.
Yeah.
You have to
Let's go to Louisville, flip some houses. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, to Cody's point where he's like, you can get paid every day on an app, those people probably don't have interest in working every single day. They don't want a long-term job.
Also, people need money every day, and
Yes.
when you're working those jobs, it's nice to just to see the fruits of your labor that day.
I
That's nice.
understand that, but like, and I'm thinking rationally here for someone who doesn't think rationally. How do you live like that? Is all I'm saying.
How do you live making money every day?
No, living day to day.
Living day to
It's
day, like
stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're not that's someone who doesn't necessarily have bills or has to wait to like. Oh, there are things that I want to do. I'm like, okay, I get paid this day. I can wait till then because I'll know what my bank account, where my bank account is sitting after I get paid. These people are like, I could do whatever I want right now because this is the money I have and this is the only money I'm going to have for a while.
Yeah, they probably don't have a bank account.
Yeah, it's probably not
Or a
great.
lot of long-term goals.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that.
I mean,
that
that's
answers
kind
my
of-
question.
What are you doing walking through this parking lot? I'm trying to find a place to sit down to balance my checkbook.
Right.
Trying to tweak, man. Leave me alone. You're harshing my mellow. Dude, speaking of Colorado.
You know how mellow tweakers are?
Very chill people.
Trying to tweak. Now
You're
let me-
harshing my mellow.
You're harsh.
It was just so weird having like a really, when we were in, this was Portland, my friends had a really nice apartment overlooking, it had like a gorgeous apartment, then a nice little balcony, and it was across the street from a parking lot. And that parking lot was just like tent city, like Hooverville. And all the tweakers would just get over there and like do drugs. And every so often we'd wake up in the morning and we would have our coffee and our morning blunt, whatever we would do to sit out there. We would see one of the tweakers that was just like less of a tweaker than the other ones, just sweeping and cleaning the parking lot. I'm like, see, that's all we need. We just need one person out of the group to take some pride in where they live. And she was like sweeping up and getting rid of the Band-Aids and the needles. And
But you're sitting on your balcony smoking a blunt.
so?
Who are you? So you're doing drugs on both sides of the street.
Yes, but I'm like,
You're
above
like,
them.
what? Just because you're literally above
Yeah.
them doesn't mean that you're better than they are.
I didn't say I was, but
No,
I'm,
you think you are.
Yeah. Yes, of
self-contained.
course.
I'm contained on a balcony.
These dumb drug addicts, we're sitting there smoking a blunt watching them.
There's a small fence.
Pass it over here.
But it was just so weird. Just like you have these probably $1 million apartments in Portland, and then across the street it looks like, I mean, Skid Row. And so
Yes, $1 million apartment does not mean that the whole neighborhood is awesome. $1 million apartment just means there's a property company that has the capital to build this. The place they're putting up next door. There's still going to be dudes across the street that are homeless.
Mm-hmm. There's multi-million-dollar homes in New York City, and still a guy taking a dump on the stoop.
Yeah, who's going to clean that up? Not Poundcake. He'd gag. He'd get it all over his goggles. He's not going to do that.
I don't think I'm in the minority on that. If it was a job that everyone could do, everyone would do it. That's why it wouldn't be so scarce.
No, I wouldn't take that job either. I'm not doing that job.
No.
It's too gross.
Okay, let me take a break here. I'll have Static X tickets for you on the way back. Back last spring, they postponed their entire tour by a year, I think almost to the day, here in Cleveland. So in March, Static X is going to be back for the Rise of the Machine tour, March 26th at the House of Blues. So if you dig Static X, and boy, I do, I'll have those tickets for you coming back. 35192 if you want to text for anything, and we'll be back.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.